Hi, eighth graders learning at home. We've decided that live streaming each lesson, each guidance lesson, is not going to work out very well for us because I think a lot of the kids in class are going to be a little reluctant to participate if they know the camera is rolling. And in guidance lessons, we have to have a lot of participation from the kids in class. So, this is the way that we are going to do each guidance lesson each week for the virtual learners. Uh, Mrs. Baker and I will come on and make a YouTube video with a summary of each week's lesson, and we'll tell you how to access that. We have guidance in eighth grade on Tuesdays after Mass every week. This week, Mrs. Baker and I just reintroduced ourselves to the kids in class and we talked about our roles here at St. Anthony. Some of you who have been here have heard a lot of this before, but you need to hear it every year. Uh, we teach one thing we do is we teach a guidance lesson every week at the same time. We're also available to talk to kids individually or in groups about any one of a number of things that you want to talk about. It can be good things. It can be, we can talk about something great that's happened to you in your life. Maybe you moved to a new home. Maybe you got a new dog. You got an A on a test. You won your basketball game. You got to see a friend or a relative that you hadn't seen in a long time. Uh, Sometimes it's about things that something you're unhappy about or you're worried about, like you have someone in your family, a relative or a pet, who's sick. You're not getting along with somebody in your class, or you're not getting along with your teacher. Maybe you didn't make a team that you tried out for, or maybe you failed a test. There are a lot of things that kids like to come into our office to talk about. When you come into my office or Mrs. Baker's office, we have basically the same rules about confidentiality. And confidentiality means that what you tell us stays between us unless you give us permission to share with somebody. For example, you may come in and tell me something, and I may ask your permission. I may say, would you be okay if I called your mom and talked to her about that, or your dad, or would you be okay if I talked to your teacher about it? If you give me permission, then I'll go ahead and do that. If you say no, then I will not. I will honor that request, and I will keep it between me and you. Sometimes it's easier to solve problems if we involve somebody else. Um, there are also three situations in which I have to break confidentiality. I have to tell someone. Number one, if I think you're going to hurt yourself, it could be you could be talking about wanting to hurt yourself because your life stinks and you're really depressed about that. Um, I got to get you help if you do that. If I think you are doing something dangerous that, for example, you are planning to do something this weekend that I think is going to be dangerous to you, I'm going to get you help. Have to get you help. The second reason we need to break confidentiality and get somebody else involved is if I think you're going to hurt someone else. If you come into my office and you say, I'm going to beat someone up at lunch, I'm not going to let that kid get beaten up with my knowledge. So I'm going to go ahead and get help, even if you beg me not to. The third situation where we have to get help and break confidentiality is if I think you're being abused. Um, we'll talk more about that later, but there are a lot of different types of abuse. And if I think somebody, whether it's a family member, whether it's not, If I think somebody is abusing you and mistreating you, then I'm going to get you help, whether you ask me to or not. If one of these circumstances is in place, I have to, by law, get you help. Same thing with Mrs. Baker. Okay, I can't wait until the virus is behind us so I can meet all our new kids who are learning from home. This is not an ideal way of learning for sure, and nobody is happy with the way things are in the world right now with the COVID, but we're going to make the very best out of the situation and the circumstances that we're faced with. And so tune in every week, and there will be a short summary of what we did in guidance class for you, just like this one. And we look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a great week.